Anti-derivative Jill.
Hey, hello.
There she is. There she is.
Welcome to Jill's.
Good tea. Nice house.
Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch in Infinite Combinations number 194. So we are coming up upon the 200th episode. I'm going to try to figure out if I really want to do something about that, but we'll figure that out later. And hello to, hey, Philip's here. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad.
Good to know.
Howdy, folks.
Greetings and felicitations.
Yeah, we're here to talk about For All Mankind. I've got some slides. We're going to talk about it. And we've got some chats in here. Hello to DJ Play Nice. Now is a good time to share out the show, send it to a friend, or post a bump on your own YouTube channel in the community tab. Yes, that would be very nice. I hope you guys can do that. If you can, that would be really, really cool. No matter where you go, there you are. Yes, Buckaroo Banzai. I love that quote.
It's always good.
Mm-hmm. Old Man Bird wonders why they're going to Titan. Well, because they found signs of life. And so they're very slowly teasing us every single episode, stringing us along on the way to Titan. Yeah, Tim, you were not the first. Gavin says, Jill, in space. Yes. I have never been to space, unfortunately. Gorilla's Random Thought says, hey, Jill, might have another hailstorm coming if you want that one also. I just wanted the rain. I don't really necessarily want the hail. And hey, Tim says they found Klingons around Uranus too, or Uranus. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it. That's how we said it in the 90s. Although now we say Uranus. Like, they're both funny.
That's a very old one, but it's good.
A classic. And oh, Jamie's here. Hello, Jamie. And yeah, we can already get started talking about this episode. Hey, look, it's Cowboy Dan on the Twitter side. Hello, Cowboy Dan. And yeah, so we're talking about the third. We're only on the third episode. How many do we get? Do we get all 10? Do we get 10, right?
I think it's 10 this season, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I've been noticing a lot of TV shows thinking, oh, the standard is 10 now. We're only going to release 8 or 6 or something.
Yeah, I think there's some that, depending on who they have as part of the TV show, they'll bring it down to 8, or in some cases even lower. But for the 10 has become the new standard.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it used to be 24, but those were the old days.
I mean, at some point it was 26, and I think in the Twilight Zone days it got up to the mid-high 30s. That's insane.
Yeah, I can't believe all the work that must have gone into completing so many stories, and most of them were pretty good.
It's insane.
Give me a legit season of a show. Give me 22 episodes again. I miss that. Yeah, you get more character development, you get more chance to have some maybe fluffy episodes that let you explore the universe a little more. I liked having 20 episodes at least a season.
I mean, it's kind of crazy when there's only a 10-episode season and yet there's still filler, but it's not the same kind of filler you would have with a 20, 22, or 24 episode season.
Yeah, definitely. Well, in any case, let's talk about this episode and see if we think that there's any filler in this one. I don't think there's too much.
No, I think it's pretty lean.
And hello to John the Beagle Dad is here too. Hey. And subscribe to him for some puppy videos. And I'm not sure, maybe NASA videos too. I need to check. 18 to 22 could work. Yep. Cowboy Dan says this episode season is just people getting lazy. I just don't want to say the woke word just yet, but let's just say the worst. The show, um, okay, that last sentence doesn't quite track, but I haven't seen any wokeness yet either. It's just I could see how you're thinking that tangentially though. Yes, Kennedy stuff. I'll be getting some Johnson Space Center stuff in there too. Nice.
Hmm.
Good, good, good. Okay, so we're talking about the third episode of season 5. It first aired last week on April 9th. And so the synopsis of it is the consequences of Ed's actions begin to play out. And I think the consequences of Ed's actions are going to be felt long after this episode. Aleda finds an unexpected solution to her problem. Yeah, she does. This episode was written by Nina Braddock and directed by Mira Menon. All right. So we get transportation back to the past at the start of this episode. We're in the Korean War. And this is something that Ed was always talking, actually not just Ed, but anybody who was there, they would talk to him about it in previous seasons. And let's share our slides so you can see what I'm talking about. He's in the cockpit of an airplane that yeah, and he has to self eject out of it, and with a parachute and everything, and he's got shrapnel. He's got because of the landing is something got stuck in him, so that's not good when something a projectile of some kind of metal gets lands in you. Okay, let's see.
Definitely not.
But he's not the only one there. There's someone else. We meet again Shane Barnhill. This reminds us who his son's namesake is and why. But I think we've heard of him before, but we've never seen him before. And certainly I'm appreciative that they waited till the end of the episode to remind us what his name was. Because yeah, I definitely, when there's so much time in between seasons, you kind of forget some of this stuff.
Hmm.
Or at least I did. Philip probably remembered.
I remember as much as I can, but I think yeah, this is the first real glimpse we've had of his experience in the Korean War, and yeah, we do get the namesake. It's not revealed until a little bit later, but it is interesting how.
Mhm.
I mean, it wasn't really explained if he was ever like injured in combat or anything, but now we kind of have an idea.
Yeah, and we also see his compass. He keeps Karen, a little picture of Karen in his compass there.
Hmm.
And there's Shane, yeah. And he's and then we cut to him in real life in the medical bay at Happy Valley. And Dr. Dimitri is tending to him. He's not doing so well. Of course, you remember he has cancer and all sorts of other medical issues related to that. And the name of the episode is called Home. And Joel Kinnaman, this is even when someone dies in For All Mankind, you kind of see them again in flashbacks. So I'm thinking this isn't the last time we see him. And spoilers for the end of the episode.
Well, I mean, the way this show kind of goes, it kind of, I mean, any science fiction thing. But the thing I appreciate most about this particular show is that it doesn't try to bend over backwards, trying to bring people back in terms of like some wacky, like, oh, they're a clone of somebody, or somebody's been reborn from some kind of weird space goo or something. It's just somebody's remembering something from the past, and then that person might pop up.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, that's the nature of science fiction in general, isn't it? So we'll see what happens. One thing I'm hoping for really is that we've not seen the end of Margot. It's not really made clear in this episode, but that's one of my concerns.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit like we might have seen her end as well, or at least the last time we're going to see her for a bit.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and it doesn't seem, I don't know, like unless Aleda says, "Wow, we really need to talk to Margot. We got to get her on the phone from the prison." I mean, I really don't see, I don't know if she has that kind of pull.
Probably not. But I'm thinking that when we come back next episode, it'll be like, because I think they said that it takes about a month to get from Earth to Mars now. So we'll probably pick up that month afterwards.
Okay.
And who knows what will happen
Maybe.
in the meantime.
Mhm. Well, I do expect certain things, which we'll talk about soon. And Low Specs Linux Gaming is here on the Rumble side. Thank you for representing the green team over there. That's really cool. Let's see. Yeah. If they're over there. And we start off with a news broadcast about Lee's escape from from the Mars base to the ISN's base to it's because he's really good at seeking asylum. This is his second time doing that. So first he seeked asylum from North Korea, now he's seeking asylum from M6.
Yeah. I guess I haven't thought
Thanks.
about that one, but that's true.
Yeah, thanks to the sons and daughters of Mars, whom the news broadcasts call radicals. And so that's what the first broadcast is about. But there's another one where they talk about some of the drama between the M6 and the ISN regarding all that iridium. Specifically, they're highlighting that India and Pakistan conflict. So M6 versus ISN, right on each other's border, and they're having some trouble. And then we have this ISN commander who says, "I speak for China and all of the ISN nations when I say we will not release him to the wolves. We do not respond to pressure from bullies." And so that is obviously they're doing it for political reasons, but we'll see. We don't really know their true intentions. But for now, it is presumed that Lee is safe where he is. For if anything, for the political benefit that he provides.
Yeah.
And so M6 is going to meet in Budapest also. So that's it. That's all we get about
Mhm.
that storyline. That's put in a box and put it away, and we're going to look at it later.
Come
But
back to it
who
later.
knows when?
Yeah.
Sometime in the future.
Hopefully sometime this season, of course.
Yeah, of course,
But
of course.
yeah.
And then we talk to So Palmer meets with the governor, Palim, to discuss Lee. The governor is not too happy with Palmer's work, even though Palmer is arresting people left and right now to try to make up for it, but it's not good enough, apparently. Politically for this guy, he wants more because he's trying to also politically motivated, just wants to move up in the world and I guess maybe be Russian president or something.
Yeah. I think that's the implication.
Yeah, and something else is going on, but we don't know anything about him really, except he was friends with Ed and they did stuff together, and now they're not friends. And there we go. So, oh yeah, sorry. The fewer episodes they give us makes it bad. Sorry. It does give us less time to build up the story. And so, yeah, I guess it's kind of easy to tell that this governor is somewhat corrupt for some reason, but we just don't know what.
Well, he's in somebody's pocket, but we just don't know who specifically at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's it. That's pretty much what this scene has to offer. Unless you've got something else. He's got a lady who's on his side. We don't know a lot about her
Well,
either.
yeah, it's supposed to be his wife, and I have a suspicion that maybe there's something more to this relationship than we're being told. But I'm kind of curious to see why, because you don't really bring a character in like that if there's not going to be something more significant. So I'm wondering what that could be.
True story. And so, but we stick with Palmer, except this time Boyd wants to talk to him about her investigations, her unofficial investigations that she's conducting to figure out what's really going on with the nighttime shipments of what do they call their base? The the um the Russians.
I don't know if I caught it.
Anyway,
I just know the corporation that's running it.
the name of the corporation. What is it? I forget. But anyway, we we've got this. Oh, I didn't mean to drop you there. Sorry about that. Where'd you go? There you are. Sorry about that. I was changing. So brands. It might happen again during it. Okay. I'm looking for a particular clip that I need because it's still frustrating me that we have to keep asking this question, and we've got to ask it once again.
What's in the box?
So we don't know yet. We don't know what's in that box yet, but that's what Boyd's trying to find out. And without any evidence, Palmer is just really not interested in what she has to say. She's all he knows that he's looked up her past files, and he knows that she got a cop killed through her inquisitiveness before. And so he thinks that she's just reckless and she's going to cause more trouble. Oops. Sorry about that.
No, it's some kind of technical glitch on my end, I think, but
Oh,
sorry about that.
whatever's in the box, I want it. Yeah, right? I gotta know at this point. This is ridiculous. It's like not even fun anymore. Sorry to hear about the hailstorms. We know about the unnecessary devastation they cause. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Gorilla, that you had to put up with that. Hopefully, you can protect your personal items that are out in the open.
Well,
And hello to Maggie. Maggie, how are you? It's good to see you. And Celia continues to believe that Lee is innocent, and Palmer just doesn't want to hear anything about it. We don't know if he's in on what the governor's doing. I don't really think so, but he is being a jerk. So it's just I don't know if it's ever going to be revealed why he is so much uh that way. I don't know how to put it. But he has no interest in what she's he has no interest in that. Sorry about that. Oh, Scotty, R37 is here. Hey. Yeah, we just Phil dropped. Let's see. There he is.
sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Oh, I lost my internet over the weekend, says Low Specs, because of hail and lightning this weekend. Got new horn and power supply for the antenna yesterday morning. Oh, I hope it all goes better. Old Man Bird is here too. Hello, Old Man Bird. And so, yeah, no, Palmer's not. He says, you convinced. Okay, so we find out what happened in her past. You convinced a superior officer to break protocol so you could go undercover and a cop gets shot. Sounds pretty reckless to me. So that is the actual quote from the episode. And
Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of an interesting thing because I would have assumed that an organization like that would send people that don't have spotty records. There must be some kind of a like maybe they're desperate for people, and so they're getting almost anybody they can find, even if they have records that aren't exactly, perfect. But even then, that kind of begs an even larger question. But at this point, I think it's an interesting character, we'll call it trait for her. And it informs us that, that's why she's going about on this little investigation of her own.
Yeah, this is not new for her. She typically does things like this. She likes to figure out everything that's going on. And Kelly finally finds out that Ed has cancer, and probably from all of his space explorations over the years, all of his adventuring had a cost. And yeah, and for whatever reason, he does not want any treatment. And so this is a thing, it's spread all over. And so the doctor says he has anywhere from weeks to months, and so that kind of gives you the false impression that they may drag this out several episodes. And dropping a like and sharing the stream. Have fun in space. Oh, thanks for dropping by, Scotty. And yeah, so the doctor doesn't have much answer. And so Kelly realizes that Alex left after listening to some of this, and he knows what's going on, so he's decided to go off on his own. So we'll bring back the slides.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut back to prison because Aleda's visiting Margot. I always love when Aleda visits Margot. And she's done that twice or several times this season already. And they're discussing Krugen. That's the name of the company. Krugen, the Russian company's named Krugen. And so they've got a spy. And so they figured out that there's potential life on Mars. And so they've set their launch date to get there before Helios. So that is a problem.
Yeah, they want to get to Titan, so it's now like a little mini space race between Krugen and Helios at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Margot has the idea to use Sojourner 1, the spacecraft that they used to get to Mars initially. And so they've got to refit it, obviously, because it's not only got old technology, they've got to refit it with newer technology, and there's a lot of work to do on it, but I guess it'll be easier than rebuilding a whole brand new ship.
Yeah, they kind of have a habit of doing that in this show, like with the Polaris Space Tours. They had it as a hotel, and then they, rebranded it as the Phoenix, and that became the Mars space station. So, it makes sense to, instead of having to build something from scratch, you just have something on hand that you can just refurbish or reconstruct to serve a different purpose.
Yeah, because the ships that they have won't get there in time, and so I guess the forces of the planet make it more difficult to land.
I did do a little bit of back of the envelope math, so I don't know if they're going to use this exactly, but if it takes a month for them to get to Mars from Earth at this point, then from Mars to Saturn, it would probably take 3 or 4 months or so. So that would be interesting to see if they how they want to play that, or if it's going to be a little bit more or a little bit less.
Well, she does say in the episode that the whole mission is going to take about a year. So that your math follows pretty well, considering also mission time.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for doing some math for the show. That's really neat. I like that.
I try, but again, I'm not perfect. We'll see if the show actually says that. It'll take about 3-4 months to get to Saturn. Yes. I'll be like, okay, well, then it was right.
Yeah, we'll cross check that the next episode. Hopefully they get started on that journey soon. And I mean, yeah, okay. So they have to what do they got to do to this Sojourner? They've got to deal with the arrow breaking on Titan because the gravity's 4 times as tough or
Well, the
as
gravity is, I think, almost the same amount as it is on the moon, or a little bit less. So it's actually not as much of a problem. But there's also a thicker atmosphere, so you would have, some reentry issues, but not more than what you'd have on Earth, even because the lower pressure of atmosphere, it shouldn't be too bad. Because I mean, Mars probably have just a little bit thicker in some respects, but it has a higher atmospheric pressure, so
Mm,
it shouldn't be that much of a problem. But I think the real thing is learning or seeing what we know about with when Cassini went to Saturn 20 years ago.
see.
We weren't really expecting there to be as much, deposits of hydrocarbons everywhere, so like hydrocarbon lakes. So since they haven't sent a probe, like a surveyor probe, at least as far as we're aware, then I don't even think they know like where the positions of all the lakes are. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely. Especially if, as you mentioned before, maybe Alex is gonna go. I don't think it's probably not likely since
Well, I don't
he had
think
to
now
figure
that
out
that's
what he
kind of
wants to do.
changed a little bit of what I thought. I mean, it makes sense that Kelly would be the one to go. I
Yeah.
think I think Alex's story is going to be pretty much confined to like the Martian Revolution sort of thing this season.
That
Uh,
makes sense, I
we'll
guess.
see where it ends up next season for him, but I think at this point it's just Kelly and Aleda getting the Titan thing off.
So no big adventure for Alex then. You're probably
Well, I mean, he's
right.
going to have his own little adventure, but it's not going to
Hmm.
be the same. His is going to be a lot seems a lot
He's gonna,
more darker.
yeah, he's gonna get on that motorcycle again. Hopefully, it doesn't fall over this time.
Hmm, very true. You don't set that up for
Um,
no reason either.
yeah,
Chekhov's Martian electric bike.
right. Oh, okay, so there are 2 scenes with Margot. This is the first one. And so this is where Margot solving problems even from inside the prison. Great. Great to see them together. And the Jolly Space Roger will fly again, says
Yep,
PJB.
very true. That's true.
I like Dev's office, the king lording over his domain. Yes, yeah, right above everybody.
Well, I
You
mean,
can
we
oh,
already have a governor of Mars, so it's only a matter of time until we might have a president or a king of Mars, or maybe both.
mhm. So in this next scene, we're seeing peacekeepers just arresting all these people. Just it seems like they want to arrest everybody. But if they do, they're gonna need to build some more brigs because they're really stacking people like sardines in there. And and Lily is talking to Nam, saying that it's Nam says it's more and more like home, so that's just how oppressive these and draconian these arrests are, that it reminds Nam of North Korea. That's how
Yeah.
you know you're not doing a good job.
No, and that's the interesting thing. As this kind of crisis continues, it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see if they, you know, because I mean, the thing with Lee is like an inciting incident, but what's the next kind of big domino to fall? I mean, you have these like little protests, but hasn't really like emerged into a riot just yet, like they had back in '03. But you know, I'm wondering if I mean, I'm pretty sure there'll be something pretty close to it pretty soon. But like, what's going to be the sort of shot heard around the world sort of thing, like the American Revolution? Um, I think that's still, I think that's still coming.
Yeah, the seeds of rebellion are absolutely there, and especially in the language that Lily uses in this episode. And okay, but I hate to be the one to mention this because I'm the one always complaining about it, but does Alex call Lily babe? What happens there? What happened there? I know they only hug and they're not kissing or anything, but
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all goes. I'm not entirely sure what to make of that.
Yeah. And so she asks how Ed is, but he doesn't, obviously he doesn't want to tell her about it. So he doesn't. And that's it. And then we cut back to Korea because Ed is still sleeping. And he's remembering the time they're looking for water, and Shane goes around to look for water and instead is caught by the soldiers and shot and killed. And Ed runs and he runs, and that's the end of that particular flashback. And then Kelly's there. And Kelly's getting a phone call. She says she's not going to Titan because she's got to be with her dad, and she wants to treat him. She wants to get an oncologist there and try to fight this cancer. And Ed says, no, call him back. Don't. You can't not go on this mission. And he doesn't want treatment.
Yeah, I think there's something about him wanting to go out on his own terms, which I think is a signature Ed move, since he's always been kind of stubborn. But, I think his part of this part of the episode is kind of showing that stubbornness still he wants to make sure that can rub off on his, daughter and his grandson, and in ways that are positive, not ways that are, some of the worst habits he had in the past. But yeah, I think that's going to be kind of like his long enduring legacy is, always like rolling the hard six, always, trying to be stubborn in the face of people who don't want to take risks. And so I think that's a pretty strong theme to kind of keep, the thread through.
Well, yeah, when he's gone, they're the ones that are going to carry on his legacy, that everything he's left behind. Of course, Kelly's not ready to accept this. She says that the oncologist can use nanoparticles to strengthen the radiation sensitivity, which is an interesting development in cancer research in the show.
Yeah, so they're probably a little bit further ahead of us in terms of cancer therapy and cancer vaccination or even curing. We don't really know the scope of the success that they have in this timeline, but it seems like they're a lot better off in terms of medical technology.
Yep. Yeah, but better off or not, he just he doesn't want to do it. And as you said, maybe it is stubbornness, maybe it's from just not wanting to be able to be in control of himself at the end. And she's just texting and texting her son. He won't answer. And so that's what's going on there. And so then we cut to Aleda on Earth watching a video email of one of the astronauts looking at Sojourner 1 and telling Aleda what's going on the ship, because they've got to refit it. They've got to fix it up. The refit's going to be neat to see, because now we're seeing it in shambles, like how we're seeing it here. I could show it.
Yeah, they were saying they pulled all kinds of consoles out and panels, and I think when Aleda was talking to Margot, they were talking about having to pull out the fusion drive and upgrade it with like a plasma engine. So it's going to be pretty souped up when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Yeah, she needs to confirm that all the parts are there, like all the parts of the whole are there. Definitely, I'm sure they also have to confirm whether or not it's even safe. There's good, like, is it together?
Yeah, space worthy,
sturdy. Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
But she's frustrated because she can't really take a look at it herself. She wants to see there are things that are missing, and she needs to know what's missing exactly. She can't just listen to him. So it's very clear that obviously that she needs to be there in person, and she needs to go to Mars, but she isn't sure because she doesn't want to be away from her daughter who is doing all of these school things. Is she a senior? I don't know, but she thinks that her daughter needs her, but her daughter thinks differently. She's like, you know what? I really love Margot. She actually,
That's true.
you know, she says, "Oh, but I'm going to be gone for a year." But her daughter says, "You know what? Go for 2."
Yeah.
So
It's very interesting on that one, but
yeah.
I don't think they actually established. I know she's in high school. I know that much.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I guess I wasn't paying too much attention.
Well, she's already driving, so it's got to be like junior, senior.
Yeah, I think probably junior. I think she might be 16, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay. So that's that, and of course her husband says they'll be fine without her for a year, and so she's gonna go. She's going to Mars, which means we really don't have to come back to Earth too much after this. I wouldn't think, except for I know that there will be conflict with Earth based on some of the beginnings of the flashback of how we got here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the interesting thing is all of our major threads are on Mars right now, but none of. I think they're closing up all the threads that we had on Earth for the most part. I mean, things might go back there,
Mhm.
but it's starting to sound like, at least with that sort of thing, we haven't even heard of any developments that have gone with NASA at all. I mean, we have nobody. We don't know who the administrator is. We don't know who, what programs they're running. We don't know anything. It's pretty much just us with our Helios people.
It's true. That'd be nice to know some of that stuff. Are they doing anything? They really have been pushed to the side.
And
Do
I'm
they have
assuming that
like
we'll
a?
probably
Do
find
they
out
even have
soon.
a
But
presence on Mars?
yeah, it looks like we haven't really heard anything at all in that regard. But we know they exist since they have, at least some sort of a medical division. So at least that's what Kelly was mentioning.
Hmm. All right, so let's get back to the slides here. Here they are. Yeah, she knows the Sojourner best. If we remember, she helped design it with Margot a while back. So she's going to go help with that. And okay, more people being arrested that haven't done anything. That's continuing to happen. No one's stopping this, at least at this point. And Fred apparently got punched in the face by somebody, ostensibly somebody he was trying to arrest, probably. He says,
Hmm.
You should see the other guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And so they theorize. Celia is having her theories, and he's kind of brushing them off.
Hmm.
And he
Yeah.
makes a joke about it, basically. She wants to know what's in those boxes and those shipments. Okay, and he says, "Oh, that's probably just construction material for the space elevator, right? Because there's a
Yeah.
space elevator that needs maintenance." And that
Yep.
makes some sense. That's logical, but she doesn't like that answer. So he says, "Okay, well then it's heroin or sex slaves or nuclear bomb. One of those three for sure."
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
is crazy, obviously.
It's true.
So he's making fun of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're playing up with their friendship a bit here.
Hmm.
And so we got Lily and her friend are arrested too. And I like when Lily says this. She asks for her First Amendment rights, and she's reminded this isn't America. There is no First Amendment, which makes me think, well, okay, are we gonna get so when we do get Martian independence, are we also gonna get a constitution? So that reminds me of things that are possibly being set up here for the future.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I'm kind of wondering what a Martian charter or a constitution even look like.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Me too.
Considering
Craters,
everybody who's there.
space slaves. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they could be seen. They're probably like indentured servants, definitely. PJB, that makes a lot of sense logically. You're right on track there. And so we go back to Korea with Ed, and he checks his compass, and we see Karen's picture again. And then he finds, oh, this is some good acting here, where he finds some leaves with water that he can drink from. So he's just drinking the dew right off the leaves. And you can see the desperation and thirst that he has there. It's pretty well done. You can see that? And of course, then from this, Ed wakes up and oh, wait a minute. I said things out of order. I mixed up both scenes, the scene from earlier with the scene now. This is where Kelly gets the phone call from Dev and cancels her Titan trip, and he gets upset about that. Obviously, he wants her to go. And she says, "I can't go anywhere while you're sick."
Yeah.
Which I believe her. She's still pushing for the treatments. That's another thing. I thought maybe with this push for treatments, because I didn't know at this point he was gonna go. If he might say, "Okay, I'll do treatments, but you have to go to Titan," and just like still do that, but we never got that far.
Yeah, I'm wondering. It's kind of an interesting plot line, but I think I'll hold off on that one at least until we get to closer to the end. Because I think when it comes to how they portrayed him, at the very end, if it was still like a parent, I don't know if I would like, even if they were forcing me to go do something that was generally good for me. I'm not exactly sure how I'd still feel about missing their passing. You know.
Yeah, yeah. That is unfortunate for Kelly, definitely. And so we've got Kelly, by the way, is still trying to find Alex, and so she gets Deb to find him, and he finds him and helps him with his motorbike that he gave him his birthday present. And Alex kind of electrocutes himself a little because he probably didn't make sure the main battery switch was off before disconnecting the controller, as it says here. And Deb says that Ed is strong, but Alex reveals to him that Ed is dying. He knows this. And so then we get a little discussion. We've known about Deb having problems with his dad before. And so this is something that's continuing here. And he talks about his own dad who died when he was his age, the age he is now at 58. And so he says, you can try to tip the scales. You can diet, exercise, the works. But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what do I want to do with the time that I have left? And your grandfather, he made the most of every moment. Everyone should be so lucky. And so he's doing a pretty good job being sort of a mentor, some sort of family outside of family to Alex. And he also advises him that he should be by Ed's side because Alex is saying, we didn't really have a good conversation the last time we talked, right? They were yelling after Spaghetti. Well, maybe not yelling, but there was definitely tension. He called him an
Too much
asshole and everything.
Parmesan. Yeah.
Yeah, the Too Much Farmers one. Yeah, unfortunately, they weren't just arguing about the cheese. That was just me. And Dev says about doing this, about talking, reconnecting with his grandfather. Sometimes you have to take things as they are, not as you want them to be. And I know it's hard, but it's going to be even harder if you're not there for him. And so he knows this from experience. And so that's very helpful for Alex. Something he needed to hear. So that's that scene. And tomatoes, we're in the hydroponic plant. So the hydroponics area of the. This is similar to the place where in a previous Mars encampment, Ed would grow pot. And Palmer is not going to let Lily go. Lily's been. Uh-oh. Lily's been vandalizing. She's been spray painting all over the place. And she's been spray painting Free Mars everywhere. And Miles tries to convince him to let her go because, oh, she's just a kid. She's got a future. She's got to go to school. She's gonna do well. And he says, remember what it was like when you were that age? And he was talking about his youth where he was taking the uppers and doing donuts in parking lots. And Palmer says, well, I was at military academy getting the shit knocked out of me and learning discipline. So that doesn't work on him. But Palmer says he will drop the charges if Miles helps him. And we do not know what he agrees to. This is the interesting part, is that we don't know whether or not what he agreed to get Lily out of the pen.
Yeah.
So I guess that'll be something else. So we'll find out later. Oh yeah, she's gonna go to Tulane where she's gonna learn discipline, but Palmer says no, she's just gonna learn how to do keg stands and read Cliff's notes. Oh no. Well no, I hope she actually reads the book. How do you know that? Maybe she's a reader. And prisoners are asking how long they're gonna be kept there. Because it does seem like prisoners don't have proper rights or even the right to, hey, why are you even arresting them to begin with? This is just all willy-nilly. Just, oh, you're tangentially, I think, related to this. Therefore, you're going to be locked up. Yeah, that area is so full of, and I bet you none of these people even did anything except for the people directly involved in the capture of the hopper last time. And so Lily's chastising Miles because she thinks he's become complacent ever since, he did some stuff. He did some great things from last season. But what has he done lately? And she says, yeah, she definitely makes revolutionary allusions. And then she also mentions French revolutionary Robespierre. But Miles reminds her that that guy was decapitated. So do you really want to be following what he does? And okay, so we did lose Phil, but that's okay. We're going to continue talking about the episode. Oh, he's coming back. There he is. Welcome back. I don't know. I don't know if was that me or was that you? I don't
I
know.
think it was my end. There was some kind of a interruption in my internet signal here. I'm on campus right now, but
I understand.
sometimes it's pretty good, but today it's rather spotty. Apologize for that.
That's okay. No problem. And so we'll just deal with it as it is intermittent. Well, it'll be fine. And yeah, so Miles is worried that she's inspired by a French revolutionary who was decapitated, and she said that was the price. Oh no. So that pretends something that she's
Yeah.
going to do in the future.
It doesn't
And
really. I mean, it really does say that maybe it isn't the American Revolution that we're drawing the comparisons to. Maybe we're trying to draw it to the French Revolution, which would make it very intriguing what would probably happen. But I'm sure it'll probably be a combination of both.
what show is this on screen? Okay, what? Oh, we're talking about For All Mankind today. A good place. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, let's see. I'm trying to fix this. And I would hope that Miles sees that after this that he can't avoid allowing Lily to be in the Sons of Daughters of Mars, but he's not gonna, cause he wants her to have a clean record for when she goes back to school on Earth. And so I understand the desire to want to protect your kids, but eventually they start to grow up and start to do things on their own, and you kind of start to lose control. And I think that's what's happening to Miles here. And also kind of happening to Alita too and her daughter. So it's not just him.
Actually, that's an interesting parallel to draw between the two of them.
Hmm. And so yeah, when we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of that going on. We'll evaluate it later. And so we've got Celia continuing her investigation, her Nancy Drew mystery investigation. And so she goes to the sub levels to figure out what's in the box, but nobody wants to tell her because they realize who she is. That she's a peacekeeper, and then they don't want to talk to her because they think they're going to get in trouble. And then she gets in trouble. She finds somebody and she chases them down, and they knock her out really badly. Oh,
Yeah, now she has a black eye, or a couple of them. So she joins her friend Fred with the Black Eye Brigade.
yeah, she does. Well, she's got two of them. And Kelly's getting a cup of coffee, and I just that is a whole mood. Watching the just centering in on the coffee, and just how kind of stressed out she looks. And Alex shows back up, and they and they hug, and they decide to go visit Ed. Except now Ed is missing, and so that kind of parallels when Alex ran off. Now Ed's run off. So there's a lot of fun parallels in this episode that I like, and that's another one of them. Because yeah, because just like you said, they are going to exhibit the nature of Ed. I think both positive and negative.
Yep.
Running off to go be by yourself because you don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah, that's a that's the thing. And welcome back to Jamie. And so they've got to go find Ed. And Alex is the one to do it. And he finds him at Ilya's place, Ilya's restaurant, at the jukebox. And this old jukebox has got, and he wants some Sinatra, but he can't find any. All he can find is this Elvis
Yeah,
song.
settle for Elvis.
Yeah. But not just any Elvis, this is his wedding song. And so
Yeah.
it's a reminder that so in a previous episode we learned that he wanted Sinatra for his wedding song, but he couldn't have it. He had to have Elvis. So the same thing is happening here with the jukebox. So there's that remembrance of the past. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I got to see the jukebox. And then, of course, he wants to drink. And Nelia is kind of hesitant to feed him liquor because Ed is obviously sick and in a hospital gown. You can tell. But he allows him to drink. He's like, shut up, give me a drink. And he does. And Alex finds him and he has a drink too. He
They look the other way for him being the proper age.
Right. Right. Well, and Ed mentions that Russians let babies drink. And I
That's
think
true.
I think some
there
people
is
use it.
I don't think there is an alcohol, recommended age on Mars at this point because they don't even have First Amendment. So
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not good for kids or even very young people like this. Like it's just not.
arguably, it's
not
just not a good
advisable.
thing. It's not a good thing for anyone at all, ever, at any age. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know,
True. That's true too. That reminds me of a certain quote from McCoy when he's got Spock's Katra in him, and he says, "To expect one to order poison in a bar is not logical."
it's a very good point.
Yeah.
But as always, moderation is key, folks.
Hmm. Definitely. And so he tries to get Ed to go back, but Ed, no, he's doing this his way, even though we're not getting Sinatra in this episode. That's essentially what he's doing.
Yeah, I fully
And
expected that to be his going out theme song, but
Mhm.
yeah.
No, we just saw it in action rather than in. I think the
Yeah.
writers are just like, that's too obvious. We can't do it.
They did a lot of things with this episode that didn't. It wasn't the obvious decision, and
Mhm.
hopefully we can get to those. We can talk about it.
Definitely. Yeah, Ed he tells Alex about Karen and it's nothing but positive about her, although it's hard for me to be positive seeing Karen's face because I just think of all the disgusting things she did. But I mean, Ed loves her, so I'm gonna try to forget about it for now.
Wait a minute. He never really found out about that whole thing.
He That's true. Thank goodness he didn't find out about that. That would have killed him
Yeah,
before he died.
or it would have probably made Danny go out way before he did. But it's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about it, but I didn't think about the fact that yeah, it was never revealed to him. So he goes still thinking everything was beautiful. And Alex proves that he has had a drink before. And so then when Kelly comes around and we get see the whole family drinking together, there's a bit of a humor here that oh, this is his first drink, and so he makes him cough to
Yeah.
pretend.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Hmm. It was just really cute.
Yeah. That's great.
And Kelly says, "Dad, you're wearing a hospital gown," because she wants him to go back to the hospital. And Ed says, "I know, it keeps it nice and airy down there," which is a pretty good joke. He delivers it way better.
Mhm.
But that's a good shot.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's their that's the last drink there. And oh, Tootsie Rolls, right. Then this is Aleda's last visit with Margot for a while. At least for a year or ever. We don't know. We don't know at this point if this is the last time that we get to see them.
It seemed pretty definitive.
Yeah, it
Maybe it'll
seemed
be the
it
last time
really
for a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give them up actually. I know that they made it really emotional, so they made it seem that this was going to be it. But I'm in denial, Phil.
I mean, I think I'm there too. Uh, then again, I'm kind of hard pressed to figure out if there's any more story for because I mean, at this point, I think Margot is pretty much only there to inform Aleda's story. So,
Yeah, but
not really
without
sure.
Aleda, who was going to send Margot Tootsie Rolls?
I mean, it's true. Unless they're able to work something out with her daughter to do it, but yeah, no Tootsie Rolls for a year. She's got to ration pretty hard on that one.
Yep. So, but Margot is actually you mentioned Cassini earlier, and she's looking at the data from the Cassini 5 and seeing that Titan might have some waves, which is why I was thinking, "Oh, well, will Alex be there because he always wanted to see the ocean and there's no way for him to go back to Earth."
Huh. Yeah, it's true. Just a different type of wave.
Mhm. Right. And so she's revealing to Margot that she's taking her up on her advice and going to Mars so that she can go to Titan. And Margot is thrilled about this, but Aleda is really sad because she feels like this is a big goodbye. Like she can't she's very used to being able to be in contact with Margot, and she doesn't want to leave her behind. She thinks that Margot should be there on Titan too. But Margot says, "Yeah, that's what happened happened, and I'm glad it did. I wouldn't have it any other way."
But it's
And
interesting. She's never been off world this entire show.
yeah, it's true.
She's the only one
And
ever to
that's
leave.
probably why Aleda's so upset because
Hmm.
she's done so much for the space program and for Aleda herself. And there were lots of times in previous seasons where I was upset at Aleda for not seeing what she sees now.
Yeah.
Because she was, obviously really upset about the betrayal and the gaslighting that Margot did when she was lying to her about her Russian connections and how the Russians knew about all this, all their engine plans.
Yeah.
But now that's all behind them, and she can properly appreciate what Margot did. That was good.
Hmm. Well, I think she says later on, Margot says that she only ever made good decisions.
Oh yeah, that's kind of funny. Yes, I
Yeah.
like that one. But I guess this could be the last scene. We'll see. We'll just see. We'll just have to wait and see. And here's the whole scene. If we can get it on there. There it is. And I realized Gavin changed his at name, his name here. Gavin Unit 1. Interesting. Instead of
He
Decker
is now
Unit.
the Gavin unit. Yeah.
Nice. And so yeah, that does feel kind of final. Oh, set your goals, understand the challenges. Oh, I didn't really notice that sign before. Oh, there's this piece of here that's anyway. Calm your mind, create. Oh, wow, interesting. Interesting how they have posters in prison that are a lot like posters you have at school.
Yeah, it's true. I got to talk to my friend who was in prison once. How they actually have posters like that.
Yeah. And so Celia's recovering from the attack, and Fred is there to, I guess, give her some support. Although it's a little strange, he seems to know what happened, but I guess maybe somebody told him. Or, like, I don't know. Do I want to be suspicious of Fred? Because he seems really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have any suspicions of him just yet, but maybe there's going to be like a ton of little nuggets that'll become more apparent later on, if that's
Mhm.
the plot route that they go through. But at this point, I'm leaning toward no. So I guess if he does turn, it's going to be more of a unexpected thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. Basically, this is just some backstory for her because she's going to be a more prominent character for the rest of the season since, of course, somebody's going to need to fill the gaps from Ed not being in the rest of the season.
Because didn't they say
So,
that she has like 6 weeks of like quote unquote
mhm.
paid vacation?
Yeah, exactly. And if she's not on duty anymore, what else is she going to do besides go full hog on her investigation? Like now that's
Yeah.
all she's going to do.
I mean, I kind of think when the story picks up in like a month when Elena arrives, we'll be in like the last week or two of that period, and then that's when she's going to do her big part of the investigation.
Mhm. Probably. And so Ed's in his room and we're seeing all these framed photos of his past, including there's one that they look at that's from 1984 when Kelly had her first flying lesson. Right there it is. That was her first flying lesson and Kelly she says she's going to go check out the Sojourner. And so Alex is going to stay with him. And they talk, and Ed says, "We need to get you on an airplane." So, I don't know. I don't know if we have no idea what Alex is going to do.
No. Yeah, she leaves, and there's kind of like that goodbye but not goodbye between the two of them.
Yeah. Well, he's happy that she's going on the Titan mission. That's all he wanted. And that she's working towards that is something, yeah, he's very happy to see her go off to do that.
Yeah.
And Grace is not a very good driver. Wow, she just peels into the driveway. I guess maybe she just didn't want to miss her mom leaving, and so she
Yeah.
drives recklessly. And then she asks, "Can I use the car when you're gone?" And so naturally, Elena says
Keep on
no.
the most important things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What is this? Hold on. I'm receiving the communication. Oh, I don't need that. That's great. So let me close that. That's a distraction. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay, so then oh wait, we're not getting the hug. It's a good hug.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? There it is. That's good enough. And then Aleda leaves in a Helios SUV. I was hoping we would get her on the transport ship so we could see her at least on her way to Mars, but no, we don't get
Yeah.
that. We don't get any present day space travel here.
Yeah. Not from Earth to Mars just yet.
No. No, but it's emotional goodbye. But they'll be able to phone call each other pretty regularly.
Yeah,
From
just with
Mars.
minor Mars timing stuff, but
Mhm. Yeah.
it's not too terrible.
Right. It's a lot better than it was last season. Last season was more difficult.
Yeah.
So this is what tells me that we've not seen the last of Margot. Because if that was the last scene with Margot, why do we see her again? Just hanging out in her prison cell. So
I mean,
I,
I kind of wonder in this year that we're going to have between the mission going and coming back. If this is the last time we're going to see her for now, and then when she comes back, something else is going to happen with her.
Mhm.
I would hope that she still has some kind of a will to live. But I mean, at a certain point, it's like, what is she living for? That she's just in prison, just maybe reading.
Well, and helping Aleda with her homework, like sometimes Aleda came with her homework, but now that's not happening anymore. So you're right. What else is there now? That's
Yeah,
a good point.
we'll see how that all shakes out.
Mhm. And so I'm still waiting for us to go to Titan 2, but at least that's on they've got to work with, at least they've given me something. They have to work on the Sojourner ship, and so I hope to see that heavy investment in that in the next episode.
Yeah, I think they're going to spend the next month as she's in transit fixing it up.
Mhm.
So we're going to see probably more, not finished, but more complete than we saw it in the beginning of the episode.
Okay. Well, she's checking it out now. Kelly is. So she's getting reacclimated to it and seeing what's what. And so I guess maybe her and Margot are going to be, I mean, not Margot, Aleda. Her and Aleda are going to be working a lot together now. And this is Alex realizes that Ed is getting worse, and so he wants to call for help, but Ed says no, and don't call anybody. And he holds his hand, and they and he helps him drink some water.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, while all this is happening, Kelly is looking at the ship. She's looking pretty hopeful. And I think
Well,
she's ready to fly again.
I don't know if this is the best part to sign off on for right now, but I got a class to teach in about 10 minutes. But
Well, okay. But we're almost there. Okay, that makes sense. You gotta go.
yeah,
Okay.
but
This is he I think okay, but before you go though, he
yeah,
does just go, he doesn't have any last words, he just breathes.
Mhm.
And
yeah. I
and
mean, that's the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit too. Was that it's not like a big speech. It's not anything like too cheesy. What they do with the ending is essentially just um, they let it like live in silence, and in that way, I think it's a lot more impactful. And then the little thing with the Gemini 7 orbiting the Earth, I thought was pretty nice. And then they bring back Gordo as well. And I thought
Gordo
that was
and
very
Karen.
yeah.
Oh, but and then seeing Shane as a toddler, that was
I mean, that's true. That
precious.
too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have had more time to explicate this a little bit more, but I think when I come back with you on the next episode, I'll probably give a little bit of time to that.
Mhm. Yeah, fair enough,
But
fair enough.
um, yeah, we only have a little bit more uh, to discuss with this, at least from on my end, and I hope to do so very soon. But other than that,
Yeah,
um,
have a good class.
yeah, thank you. Sorry about cutting it a little bit. I know
That's
between
okay.
the scheduling and all that, but we'll make it work.
Absolutely. Well, and usually we have an extra 30 minutes. We would have made it if I would have started on time. I just couldn't do
No,
that
no.
today.
I
Look,
mean,
there
I
is the
wanted to make sure I
baby.
didn't. Yeah, that's. I mean, it was a very powerful scene, and
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of don't want to believe he's gone, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it is true.
Well,
But yeah,
he's
I don't
on
think it's the
his
last we've
adventure.
seen of him necessarily, but yeah, I think he is gone.
There's the breath in. Yeah, he's on his adventure in space now. There he is, orbiting the Earth.
Gemini 7.
And so that's a good end credits. It really works for me.
Yeah, I
I think
mean,
I'm yeah, very emotional. Well done. Good send off.
yeah, I mean, I want to say that that's it for him. I mean, he could come back in flashbacks, of course, but I don't know if it's going to. I think they're going to save maybe one or two more flashbacks until maybe the very, very end. I don't think they'd do it too soon because they want to let that kind of. I would assume they want that to fester a little bit before they, kind of undercut it with a flashback. At least that'd be my
Mhm.
assumption.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But then we're gonna have people remembering him and mourning him in the next one. So that's definitely gonna also be happening with along with
At least
Kelly
that.
probably being upset she wasn't there.
Yeah. But I am looking forward to the next
Mm,
episode. I'm sure. I hope everyone else is as well. But
yes.
with that said, I'll be signing off for a little bit longer. So we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us, Philip,
Of course, I
and
love
thanks
it.
for doing the math on the getting to Titan.
Well, we'll
I'll
see if that checks out, but it would
yeah,
seem
I
to
like that.
gel.
Mm.
So with that said, we'll see you, folks.
See ya. And so I'm gonna yeah, we're gonna finish off this episode just a little bit. I know we just did with the slides, but in that last scene where Ed was looking up at the rescue helicopter, that's when we cut to NASA and the walk down the flight uh to the to the Gemini 7, which was a pretty good choice to see his and Gordo's mission and all of that. And I think it was a good ending for Ed, and it kind of opens things up to allow other characters to take the role or to take the reins of the main character because he has been the main character since the very beginning. He's been a central piece, and now we're shifting that to the other characters because the original, you know, Margot's in prison, and it's kind of weird that Margot was in prison, and basically Ed was in house arrest his last days. Even at the very end, he had a peacekeeper watching over the hospital bed. So that's something that happened. And we still don't know what Danny's doing. I forgot to mention to Phil, I miss Danny. I still do. She's probably my second favorite character next to Molly. And I think I didn't realize Ed would die this episode until the jukebox scene. That pretty much tells it to you. They're drinking together as a family, just and it they even tie a little bit of humor in there. It's very nice. Um, Normally I'd complain more that we don't get more science, but this was Ed's episode to go, so you're allowed to have a little drama when somebody dies. And so that'll yeah, next time people will react to that. But also I hope to see the refit of the Sojourner one completed in the next episode and to find out what's in that stinking box. What are the Russians up to? I don't know. And at this point I don't even care because I don't know. You got to give me something to show. And for any in any case, thank you so much for listening today. I think that's pretty much all we have. Yeah, it'll probably be some kind of funeral thing in the next episode. I don't know. Hopefully though, since Molly can't be there because she's already passed, maybe her husband will be there. Her husband Wayne. That would be good. And that's basically all we have for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Interested to go to Titan to see if there is life. Is there life on Titan, or is it just not really going to be life? I'm sure that they've got to find some microbes, right? That's got to be the next big thing. If they don't find life, then that'll be kind of sad. Oh, and hello to Mike Linux. Thanks for the stream. I missed it. Oh, that's okay. That's okay if you missed it. We'll start all over again just for you. So, first of all, they have a news broadcast. No, we're not going to talk about it the episode again. But I hope you can re-listen to the replay and enjoy it. And I hope you're enjoying. I don't know, are you watching For All Mankind? Cuz I'm enjoying it so far. I've always had trouble with the the long overarching stories because I want to know what happens, and so we'll have to find out. We'll piece more things together next week. But I hope everybody has a really wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you all next time. Friday, was it going to be Thursday or Friday? You know what? I have to do it on Friday. I need the time to talk about DeForest Kelly because we're continuing to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Star Trek all year. Yes, I realize it's in September, but we're celebrating all year because it is the 60th. So I hope that's okay with you and that we do that all year long. And Saturday we'll do something else. Something might happen tonight, but I'm not going to promise anything. So just stay tuned. We'll find out later if that actually happens or not. Okay, let's find this, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Learn all that is learnable.
So I hope you learned something today.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
I enjoy hearing what you have to say, so leave me a comment.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
So let's continue creating conversations and ideas.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Share out the stream to bring more here. Bye for now. See you next time.
Well, not even.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.